and I recently encountered a significant concern while visiting the Capital City Golf Course.
Hollinger's words have really hit me.
I'm really upset about this.
And let us be clear, this is not private land.
That this property does not belong to the country club. It belongs to the taxpayers of the city of Tallahassee.
Why would we undersell this land if it was going to be sold?
We believe strongly that the city should retain ownership of the property.
Who is benefiting from selling at such a low price?
And we need to retain this property. We need to ensure that it remains in the public trust.
This is public land and it belongs to the people of Tallahassee.
If you do sell the property,
You're at 30 seconds.
under no circumstances should you include the slaves who are laid to eternal rest here. They were sold in life, and now we are proposing to sell them in death.
The Country Club has never respected the grave sites and refuses to allow for the placement of an historic marker to acknowledge the presence of the bodies.
I was disheartened to find a lack of proper memorialization.
Yet today, nothing has been done. No memorial, no marker.
There is no signage that has been erected.
Such as tombstones or plaques, to honor the formerly enslaved African Americans that are buried there.
We have known definitively about this gravesite now for nearly a decade.
I was on the site when the National Park Service was there, and it's a very powerful place.
National Park Service confirmed at least 40 probable graves tied to the Edward Houston plantation.
Management of this company have already showed that those slaves in those graves is not a priority to them.
The manager told us that the country club controls the property and that they don't have to put anything on their property if they don't want to.
I believe that it is extremely irresponsible and frivolous for the city of Tallahassee to have knowledge of this and not honor or recognize the atrocities of enslavement that took place on that land.
In August 1935, when the city of Tallahassee acquired a 9-hole golf course, the city deliberately pushed over the headstones and fence on the property in order to expand the course to 18 holes.
The property was leased, as everybody knows, for $1 per year for 99 years. That means the city has received a grand total of $69.
A lease executed in 1956 for 99 years.
The city's decision to lease its golf course to the Capital City Country Club in 1956 was one of the most egregious.
This lease was historically used to avoid integrating a city-owned golf course.
Why? To circumvent a federal court order that prohibited segregation of municipal golf courses.
For decades, the membership at Capital City Country Club remained exclusively white.
I have long known the cloud under which the racial discrimination has existed there.
In October 2020, this commission voted to create a committee to memorialize the site.
And the committee selected me to be the person who would make a final presentation of our concepts to this commission, which I did on May 12, 2021. From that day to this day, absolutely nothing has been done.
Furthermore, it is unhinging to think that this great city of so many great people will refuse to acknowledge the souls and bodies that are buried under those grounds.
Golfers are still driving golf carts over a part of the cemetery. The women's tee still covers part of the cemetery. And following the tornadoes last May, several loads of trees and debris were dumped in a portion of the area where graves are believed to be, which is also the site of the entrance to the proposed memorial.
This absence of acknowledgement raises serious questions and concerns about the city's commitment and responsibility to preserve the memory of this historical site.
Commissioners, that is unconscionable. In any memorial that the city erects, I still would like to receive an answer as to what has taken so long.
It appears that the city intends to sell the land for privatization,
It should not be maintained by a private property owner.
which will effectively eliminate public access and the opportunity to pay respects and recognize the historical significance of the enslaved individuals that are buried there.
There appears to be a willing and unwillingness by the city or whoever is in charge to act with urgency on this issue despite repeated direction from this body and repeated calls from the community.
The club proposes to allow a local university use of the course if they become the owners. What an insult to the Black community. If they were sincere, they would let the golf team use it now. How about starting today?
Ask yourselves, if these were your ancestors, would you accept this level of delay? This lack of dignity, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about dignity. If these were the bodies, as Mr. Stanley said, of white people, would there be such what seems to be a blatant dismissal of the memorialization of the deceased? I will not speak on the private conversations I've been told about, but it is clear that there has been an effort to ignore the promises that have been made.
I strongly believe it is the city of Tallahassee's responsibility to honor the memory of this burial site.
Given this context, it would seem far more reasonable for the city to address the outdated and inequitable lease before even discussing selling the land, especially without first
You're at 3 minutes.
fulfilling the promise of memorializing the bodies of African Americans. And if they are leasing at $1 a year, I would say maybe they should be better stewards.